Okay, so let's talk about some information now for these lights and about how we can get information organized around them. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and find these two lights that I abandoned that are buried in the floor. I no longer need them, and I'm just going to simply delete, right? They were just a way to sort of put the symbol into my drawing, so I just selected them and deleted them, right? So now let's go back to top plan view, right? And let's select maybe even this first light that I stuck into the drawing. If I go to my object info and I scroll down, you'll see that there is literally a ton of information about this light, right? It just goes on and on and on and on about the information that's available for it. Kind of the more important stuff is right near the top, right? So we know that we have some numbers that are around each one of the symbols. We have the channel number, which is the number that the light board is going to respond to. We have the dimmer, which is what it's actually plugged into. We have its unit number. We have a bunch of information we need to organize around that symbol. So maybe we'll just type it in. I'll type in that it's unit number 1, which I think is correct, right? And its channel number is 1, enter, and I think it's color, I don't know, what is its color, RO2 color, let's say RO2, enter, right? So I have that information now as attached to the symbol, right? If I click away from it and come back to it, I can see that all that information has remained intact. It's there, but it's not visible on screen. And it's because we haven't told Vectorworks how we want to organize that information around that symbol, right? So the way that we do that is with a tool called the label legend, right? And so what it basically is it's a map, right? Or a template, right? That all of that information is going to be organized around the symbol every time we use a symbol, right? So the way we get to our label legends, right, is to go to our Spotlight pull-down menu. Below Object Conversion, it says Label Legend. And there are three options out there. And where we're going to be going is the Label Legend Manager. And what that will allow us to build is a template that then we can assign to all the lights. So let's go to the Label Legend Manager. And now we don't have any. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and add one. Let's go ahead and make one. So it brings us into this dialog box, and the first thing that we need to call it is going to be, is give it a name. And what I want to do is I'm going to call this vertical ERS. And that's going to be every ellipsoidal reflector spotlight that's hung either pointed straight up stage or straight down stage. The next thing that we're going to want to think about is what information do we want on our drawing, right? What do we want it to actually output to display? We have all of this information over here, and we could display any of it, but we really just want the vital information. So if I go down the list, here I'll expand it a little bit so you can see better. Device type, instrument type, that all comes from the symbol. Fixture ID, fixture mode, I don't think so. Fixture mode, wattage comes from the symbol. But I will bet that we want to know the purpose, right? So I'm just going to check that the purpose is there. A little check mark next to purpose. Position, we shouldn't need to display that because we can see what pipe it's hung on. But unit number, we want to see the unit number. We want to see the color, the dimmer, the channel. These are conventional fixtures, so we don't need address, we don't need footprint, we don't need circuit. Look at all this information. User field, voltage, breakout, time, cost, frame size, field angle, beam angle, weight. But I will bet that we are going to use a gobo. Let's select gobo. Let's see if we can find color. Was color up higher that I missed it? There's color. I had already selected it, right? So we have, let's look at the top. We have its purpose. We have the unit number, right? The purpose, the unit number, the color, the dimmer, the channel, and then you have to scroll way down to find the gobo. This is going to be the default symbol, right? If yours is not selected as a Source 4 Junior, you can click the little side arrow and it'll show you every symbol, and you just want to double click on that as a symbol, right? All of this can be used left as a default, and we can change whatever we need to later. And let's say OK, right? Great. So now let's select our symbol and let's change our 2D layout, right? Which is going to be the template on how all this information is organized. And now if you look over here, you'll see that our purpose, we can just drag it across to where we want it to appear around our symbol. How about our unit number? We drag that and put that right in the middle, right? Our gobo is going to want to go up to the top. Maybe our color goes up to the top. And you can just drag this stuff around. I might get in here and drag it a little more effectively than what I did, right? I'm just going to organize this information. Now let's center that up. There we go, right? So I'm just dragging from the center of these boxes. Unit number. How about our dimmer number? Maybe it'll go down here. And let's put our channel number right up close to it. You can decide how you want to organize your information, and you can go back and change it, and it'll change for everything that you've done, right? So here's how I've organized my information. Now let's say exit symbol, right? Now look, nothing has showed up yet, right? Because I haven't told this light to pay attention to that symbol. If I click on this light and now I say spotlight, go down to label legend again. Now the first option says assign legend to instruments. And I click here. Which legend do I want to assign? Vertical ERS. And I say OK. Now look, information is starting to show up. Here's my unit number, my channel number, there's my color. What if I select this one and I give it some information? Maybe I say that this is my cool front, right? And it's going to be R62 is my color, and it's going to be channel number 2, right? But again, now all of that information hasn't shown up until I tell it what legend I want it to use. Label legend, assign label legend, assign vertical ERS, and I say OK. See, now all of this information is starting to show up, right? So that's an introduction to label legend. We'll talk about editing it and containers and some other resources in the next video.